Name is Pasquale Majori, and this is Give Me 20 Minutes. When I started 2026, I had a few goals in mind. As I mentioned, one of my goals was to do a broadcast every week. And I may not be in the right frame of mind, the right mental state to do this morning, but I'm also a guy that likes to rip the band aid off and just go ahead and do it. So that's why I'm doing this broadcast here this morning. As I'm recording this, it is Sunday, January 11th, 2026. It's a beautiful day outside. We had a little bit of snow earlier this morning, but that's not going to stop us. Big game today for our Buffalo Bills. Shout out to those of you that made the trek down to, excuse me, I want to be prepared here. Big shout out to those of you that made the trek down to Jacksonville for the game. It's apparently like 80 some degrees down there, maybe 70-ish. You never know how it's going to do. I would have liked to have made the trip down there, but it just wasn't feasible this week. But when the Bills make the AFC Championship game and play either the New England Patriots or the Pittsburgh Steelers, I do plan on being there. So you win some, you lose some, as they say. Want to thank everybody that checked out the program last week. The return of Give Me 20 Minutes, little feedback that we got from my friend Chef AJ from AJ's Kitchen in West Seneca. The topic of my program last week was being overwhelmed by digital communication. I have these days where I'm at my office at work and I just sit there and stare at my computer and stare at the multiple emails that I have in my inbox. Excuse me, talking is hard. That'll probably happen a lot of times during this broadcast if you ever heard me speak before. So I sit there and I look at my email box at the number of emails that I have, and I don't want to respond to said emails because I'm just a little bit overwhelmed by digital communication. You know, the cell phone, text messages, emails, your Facebook Messenger, your Instagram direct messages. I just want to decompress and like just get away and do almost like a detox from all of these things. I've kind of cut back my social media use this week as well. Haven't been as active on that as I probably have been in. I was like a ridiculous group message going on right now. I'm sorry. I should probably put my phone over here, but I might need this for the program. But I'm just like overwhelmed and like kind of done with the whole digital communication thing. It definitely has an effect on your overall demeanor if you're scrolling for no apparent reason whatsoever. I talked about, the ability to watch a movie or watch a television show and not go on your device. So I posted something in the comment section about the whole subject that I did last week, and it was a great clip from Sebastian Maniscalco. He talked about how his mom would have an Entenmann's cake in the house just in case company came over. And, it's definitely a different time that we're living in now. If somebody knocks on your door, ordinarily it's going to be an Amazon delivery person, or now we have these third-party delivery services roll up in your driveway in a minivan. You're like, what did I get? What did I order? And why is this coming to my house right now? But actually, back in the day, people would randomly show up at your house. And Sebastian Maniscalco does this great bit about that whole situation. And AJ from AJ's Kitchen, I feel that. I watch the old movies and people just stop by friends' houses for coffee, and it just seems to be all foreign to me. It really is a different world that we're living in because we have these stupid devices that we can just text somebody, we can email somebody, we can message somebody, and like face-to-face communication is something that has really been lost. And I'm trying to make the effort in 2026. If I can have a face-to-face conversation with somebody, I will do that instead of using my device. But that was last week's program, and we're on to this week's program. And one thing I like to talk about on this program are things that annoy me that go on in the media. And one of my bugaboos, one of my things, pet peeves, let's use the word pet peeves, the phrase pet peeves, excuse me. Once again, talking is hard. That's number two. This Buffalo Grand Hotel situation, the never ending story. And it just keeps taking different turns. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with the Buffalo Grand Hotel, if you go to downtown Buffalo, you get off at the Church Street exit, you get off of the 190, off to your right-hand side, there's this big complex, which used to be the Buffalo Grand Hotel. However, back in late 2021, there was a fire that has affected the Buffalo Grand Hotel, causing it not to be the Buffalo Grand Hotel anymore, causing it just to be an eyesore, just to be another building in Buffalo that needs work. But anytime there's some downtime in the media, we need something to talk about. We have to fill that 1 minute and 30 seconds, that 2-minute segment. Let's talk about the Buffalo Grand Hotel. Let's talk about the steps that are being taken to seize control of the Buffalo Grand Hotel. Let's go through a little bit of a timeline here. So the key points we're talking about, once again, a fire back in 2021 damaged the ballroom kitchen, leading to its closure and preventing its planned reopening, according to the business owner, Mr. Stinson. And then owner's efforts, owner Harry Stinson claims he plans to reopen but faced roadblocks with the city and insurance, hoping to get rooms open by the spring of 2026. It's not looking like that is going to happen for Mr. Stinson, unfortunately. Excuse me. Once again, talking is hard. That's number 3. The city of Buffalo is trying to seize the property due to its derelict, I love that word, derelict state, numerous code violations, and reports of trespassing, viewing it as a public safety risk and blight on the city's gateway. Apparently, you didn't take a look at around at other places in the city. That's just my own opinion. But things need to be taken care of. The hotel remains closed, with the city taking legal steps to acquire it as of late 2025, while the owner seeks time to rescue the property. So the discussion I want to have with you this morning is, what is the future of the Buffalo Grand Hotel? Living in Buffalo all my life, I've gone through different situations like the new Peace Bridge, Bass Pro Shop, ECC's Super Campus, just to name a few. So if you could do something with the Buffalo Grand Hotel, what would you do? I know a lot of ideas were being floated out there. Let's reopen it as a hotel. Let's turn it into a jail. I don't know. What would you say? What would you do with the Buffalo Grand Hotel? Leave a comment in the comments section. But one thing I came up with, because if you live in a community and you have a business that has been closed down, if you have an empty, vacant, whatever, most likely it's going to get turned into a smoke shop, possibly a dispensary. So do we take the Buffalo Grand Hotel and turn it into the biggest dispensary in Western New York? You know, Pizza Hut recently made a resurgence in the area. Do we make it the biggest Pizza Hut in Western New York? Other ideas, you know, Tim Hortons. There seems to be a Tim Hortons on every corner. Do we make it the biggest Tim Hortons in Western New York? Do we bring it back to its hotel days? What do we do with the Buffalo Grand Hotel going forward? What creative ideas do you have to bring this old hotel back? Of course, we talked about, you know, maybe Ellicott Development taking it over. We talked about our friend Doug Jamel taking it over. But realistically, what are we going to do with the Buffalo Grand Hotel? And what do you want to see happen with the Buffalo Grand Hotel? Excuse me. It isn't such a key location where something needs to be done with it. Just put a billboard on the back advertising something. Somebody take this building, because I'm sick of turning on. I shouldn't say turning on. Excuse me. I made a mistake there. I'm sick of being at the gym in the morning and seeing the row of televisions which say, this is what's going on with the Buffalo Grand Hotel today. I don't care. It's just gotten to the point where it's just filler. It's just nonsense. And I could not care less. But I do want to see something happened to the building itself. When I say I could not care less, I'm talking about the media coverage of this story, because once again, it's just become filler, it's become nonsense, and it's become another story like the new Peace Bridge, the Bass Pro Shop, and the ECC Super Campus. So I want you to leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what should happen to the Buffalo Grand Hotel, and we will revisit this subject, this topic next week here on the program. Give me 20 minutes. As I mentioned, my goal is to do a new broadcast every week. Not exactly in the right mental state, mental frame to do this broadcast here this morning, but I felt like I needed to do it regardless. And that's exactly, talking is hard. I think that's number 4. That's exactly what I needed to do. So this is going to be more of an audience participation program. So once again, leave a comment in the comment section. What should be done with the Buffalo Grand Hotel? In my personal opinion, why not make it a hotel again? You know, we had this discussion about the new Buffalo Bills stadium. People are like, yeah, let's put the stadium downtown, yada, yada, yada. And you have these all like advisory committees, these quote unquote advocates, these quote unquote activists that say, oh, a new stadium would be great downtown, but you don't think about the logistics. You don't think about things like that. Here's a hotel downtown. We want to have the NFL draft. I personally want to have SummerSlam in Buffalo, maybe within the next 5 years when the new stadium opens up. So we need more hotel space. Just leave it as is. Make it a hotel. If somebody's going to come in, take it over, give it a facelift, keep it as a hotel, because we need more hotels here in Western New York. We'll see how the development goes in Orchard Park once we get the new stadium open and rocking and rolling, but keep it as a hotel and just give that thing a facelift. I know there's a lot of work to be done. The parking lot is a bit messy, a lot of landscaping that needs to be done, but if it were me, some of you people might understand that reference. Keep it a hotel, because we need more hotel space so we can get the NFL draft, so we can get the WWE SummerSlam, so we can get these big concerts that are going around the country, worldwide. We need Taylor Swift here in Western New York. We need the NSYNC reunion concert here in Western New York, and we want folks to come in from outside of town to come to these events. So you keep the Buffalo Grand as a hotel. It's not a dispensary. It's not a smoke shop. It's not the Pizza Hut. It's not a Tim Hortons. It's not a Kohl's. It's none of those. Keep it as a hotel, improve it, and make it look better. But once again, I know I'm being redundant. I'm repeating myself, but I want you to leave a comment below and let me know how you feel about the Buffalo Grand Hotel and what should be done about it, and how this is just another typical Buffalo situation when it comes to planning and not executing, or lack of planning and doing whatever. So I'm done. This was Give Me 20 Minutes. So I just try to keep the program under 20 minutes. Just want to throw a plug out there before I get out of here. It's coming up Sunday, February 15th, Buffalo Championship Wrestling presents Wrestle Sunday 4. What is Wrestle Sunday 4? It's an afternoon of live and local professional wrestling action, family friendly, all that good stuff. It takes place at 4 p.m. Doors open at 3 p.m. Renaissance Club in North Tonawanda. And I want you to buy tickets for that event, because I want to see a lot more familiar faces at that event. It's going to be a great afternoon. Normally the event goes 2.5 hours. There is food there. The bar is open for all your Sunday fun day needs. And it's the first Sunday after the NFL season. So what we do is we give you something to do on that first Sunday after the NFL season with professional wrestling. It's going to be great. Right now, I think we're looking at 5, maybe 6 matches, but come out, check it out, especially if you haven't had the opportunity to check out a Buffalo Championship Wrestling event. If you're curious about what goes on, if you have any questions, shoot me a message. Let me know. If you have a group you want a discount, you have a family you want a discount, let me know. I'm usually pretty generous with these type of things. I don't do this for myself. I do this for everybody else. So yeah, come out, check out Buffalo Championship Wrestling on Sunday, February 15th. And I will be back next week with a whole nother broadcast, but you see down in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, follow me on Instagram at WNY Wrestler. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel. And if you're watching this on Facebook, we're already friends in the cyber world sense, or whatever you want to say, in the virtual world sense. So yeah, I appreciate you doing that, and I appreciate you checking out this program. But I got a Bills game to get ready for. I think they're going to get a victory today. I have no doubt about it. I know a lot of people are over analyzing this game and trying to figure out ways that the Bills can lose, but I'm confident that the Bills will get a victory today. I might be wrong, but I'm going to be an optimistic fan, and I'm going to look forward to watching the game today at another great local spot called Vinny's. Vinny's is another place I like to plug and promote because it is one of the, in my opinion, greatest local bars out there. So we'll be at Vinny's watching the game today, and I hope you have fun watching the game today. But once again, I'm out of time. Thank you again for checking out this episode of Give Me 20 Minutes. I'll talk to you again back here next week. Go Bills.